folders created. Folders being created include lib scripts. So I have created my authentic app. In my authentic app, you have created the authentic. So if you want to create the database, you can also do so by just saying cd my authentic app and just say python manage.py migrate. When you say python manage.py migrate, the SQL table would be created for you. You can see it here. Previously db.sqlite was not there. I have created the db.sqlite using a command called python manage.py migrate. So db.sql is being created for us. So now if I want to check the user login, I just say python manage.py run server. Python manage.py run server. So here I'm going to go to the directory and just say http:// here you just say /admin. So the admin module will be open for you. So now we have not yet created the admin. So you have to create the you need to create the Here you need to say Python manage.py create super user. You have to say Python manage.py super Python manage.py create super user. While creating, you just leave the username as blank. Email address, you can give whatever you want to give. Password, it should be 8 characters. So I've created a super user. Now you run your Python program, Python manage.py run server. Python manage.py run server. I'm going to open the thing. Here you need to say /admin. Here username is admin and password I have just set it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. You can add the logins here. Username, I'm creating it as Vasu. Password, it cannot be too simple or other personal information. It must be 8 characters, cannot have commonly used one. Your password can be entirely numeric. Your password cannot be entirely numeric. So I am going to create the password. So you can create a username and add the personal information here. Now you have to make it as staff status. Activate it as staff status and save the thing. So you can give the permissions for the user. You can give permissions to the user. If you want to give any permissions, you can give it to the user and save. So here I have created the users. You can see there are 2 users created. One is Gaud user and the Vasu user. So when you log out, you can log in as Gaud. password. See, you can log in into the site administration using your own login. So we have now created the login automatically from the Django application. Now we are going to create the applications, how to register and how to do the login. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any doubts? So if you are not having doubts, I'll proceed to the next thing, how to do registration. The notes I have already shared to you people in the group. Have you checked it? Have you checked it? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user login page. I'm going to create a user login page. Django login registration page I'm going to create. So to create Django login registration page, first what you have to do is I'll be showing step by step. If you can do with me. Django login registration page. Under Django login registration page, I have created a learning user app. In learning user app, I have created a basic app and a learning basic app. In basic app, we have the templates. In the templates, we have the basic HTML files which are needed for our execution. So I'm going to put all the steps how it should be done so that you people can do it simultaneously with me. So first what you have to do is in the first step you have to create a folder. You have to create a folder which is going to have your project. You have to create a folder which is going to have the project. So to create a folder which is going to have the project, you need to say Python -m virtual environment, give the project name. After you have created the project name, you have to go to the virtual environment. This is the first step which you have to do it. In the second step, you have to go to the directory, that is your project directory / project name / project name. Then you have to say cd scripts, then / project name / scripts. Then you have to activate activate.bat. Then you are going to be in the virtual environment, something like this. You are going to be in the virtual environment, something like this. This is your project. Project name. Here you need to install Django. To install Django, you just say Python -m pip install Django. Pip install -m pip install Django. Then you have Django will be created. Django would be created for the project. Then you have to say create a project app. To create the project app, we say Django admin start project. So the project name app will be created. In the project name app, after it is being created, you have to migrate your project. It will be something like this. Migrate, we have to do it so that the SQL will be created for us. After you have migrated, you can check your application. Check your application by saying Python manage.py run server. So we have created a folder. In that folder, you have created your Django login registration. Under Django login registration, we have created a app which is learning users app. Under the learning users app, you are creating a basic app. Okay, should I show how to do it? Should I show how to do it? Anyone please respond? Okay, I'm going to show you how we can do this login registration. So I am going to go to E drive. Under E drive, I have created FDP. So I'm going to create CMD. Here I'm going to create a virtual environment. To create virtual environment, I'm going to say Python -m virtual environment, and I'm going to create the project name. Project name I'm giving it as Django underscore Django login I'm creating. So when I create a virtual environment, Django login is being created. So we go to CD Django login. Here I have to create a virtual environment. So to create the virtual environment, I go to CD scripts. Under CD scripts, I have to activate the virtual environment. Virtual environment is being activated. So here I have to install the Django. To install Django, we just say Python -m pip install Django. Django is being created now. So it is getting installed. So after the Django is being installed, we have to create a app for our application, and in that app you have to create one more directory which will be the members for our app. So is the Django installed? So I have created Django login. Under Django login, I am going to create a folder called learning users. So to create a folder called learning user, we have to say Django admin start project. You give the name of your project. So I'm giving the name of the project as learning underscore user. I'm giving the project name as learning underscore user. So learning underscore user is being created. Now you can check it here. Django login. Under Django login, you have learning underscore user. And we don't have the SQL being instantiated. So to instantiate the SQL, you need to say, go to the directory cd learning underscore user. Learning underscore users, you just say python manage.py migrate. We just say python manage.py migrate. So you can see it here, DB SQLite is being created for us. Okay, everyone. Everything okay? So after you have created the learning underscore users, in learning underscore users, you have to create the members directory. So that particular members directory would be created in your learning underscore . So here in learning underscore user, I will be creating a start app. So I say file manage.py start app. I give the name of the app. My name of the app would be now, my name of the app, I want to give it as basic app. Name of the app, I want to give it as basic app. Basic app is being created. You can open the basic app. Here you will be having the directory init admin apps models test and views files will be created. Now we are going to work on these files to do a Django login application. Everyone okay? Everyone okay? Okay, now after you have created this, now let's check whether it is working or not. Our application is working or not. To check our application whether it is working, we need to go to our Python manage.py run server. So your application is working now. So the application is working. I can minimize it. Control C. Now, what you have to do, there are some steps need to be followed. Now, what you have to do, you have to create the, in basic app, you have to create a template. In template, we have to create a files. So these all things we have to do it so that our application will be running. First, you need to add your settings. Go to your settings folder. You can see it here under the settings folder. We have created an email which can be used for our communication purpose. Now here in installed apps, you have created a basic app. This is your templates app and the widgets are being created. So I have already given the files to you. So you can just copy and paste the file so that it will be running. So the HTML files are being created. So if you run your application, Pillow module is used to install your images.
Video ఉందా? కనిపిస్తుందా? దొంగలా చేసుకుని వచ్చేది.
Okay, I have created a simple application wherein we take the username sign up form is there and a registration form is there. So you have a registration form where it is taking username, password, first name and the last name. When you enter these things, it is going to store in the database and then it is going to return the thing. So this is a simple web application where you have created a simple registration form and a login screen. Any doubts you can ask me? Any doubts you can ask me? If no doubts, we'll proceed to the next one. If you are not having doubts, I'll proceed to the next one. So here what I want to do is I want to create a login registration and login page. Okay, we have created a simple login registration forms and also a automatic, and also we have created automatic login screens, how we can do it using your Django applications. So if you are not having doubts, I'll be going to the database thing wherein we can connect our database. So I have already sent the database link in the group. So you can download the database, that is XAMPP I have already sent in the group. So you can download that. So if you have downloaded, then we can start with the thing. This is the download link to actually connect our Django web applications to your Django web applications to the database. This is a link where you have to download the XAMPP. When you download the XAMPP, MySQL will be automatically created. After MySQL is being created, we can actually start working with the MySQL with your Django applications. Okay, I'm going to show how we can do it. Shall we start? Any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, then if you are not having doubts, let me proceed with the MySQL thing. First, you have to install MySQL if you want to get connected with your database. If you want to get connected with the database, we have to first install the database, that is MySQL. So if you want to download, you can also download MySQL for Python from your http mysql.com. Now, what does a Python will do? If you have already have the Python in your thing, you need to install the driver to make sure that your application is working. So to install the driver, you can directly install it in your main directory. That is, we can do it here. Or you want to install to your folder, we can do that also. So I want to install the MySQL connector to my folder. So here I just say, Python -m install MySQL connector. So MySQL connector would be installed. So MySQL connector is being installed. After MySQL connector is being installed, we have to check whether our Python is working or not. To check whether the Python is working, I have created MySQL Connect. Under MySQL Connect, I have created a demo MySQL test.py file. Here you need to just say Here you need to just say import mysql.connector and then your host name, username and password. Your host name, username and password. Host name is localhost, username is root, password we have not kept any password, so it will be empty. So here where I am going to come here, go to your folder, or you can go directly from here, cmd. So here I say Python demo underscore mysql underscore test dot py. So it is the SQL connection is being established. Now we can check whether the DB is working or not. To check whether my database is working, I have created a file. Here import MySQL connector, MyDB, your host, username and password. Now you can create database, my database. I'm just creating a database called my database. Already it is being created, so I give the name as my database 1. So I say Python mydb mydb.py. So the database is being created. After the database is being created, I want to check whether my database is being created or not. To check my database created or not, I'm using show databases. I'm using a function called show databases. You can see here, there is a database created, my database 1. You can check a database is being created, my database 1. Now I want to create Now I would like to create a table in the database. So I am creating a table name called customers in the database. So I'm going to write the code. I'm creating a table called my table 1. So first statement you have to write it is import SQL.connector. Import SQL.connector is the one which is used to connect your Python file to the MySQL database. So after you have done the connection, you have to create MySQL.connector. MySQL.connector has a method called connect. So it is going to take 4 arguments: your host, username, password, and the database what you want to, where you want to create. So here host is localhost, username is root. So if you want to change, you can change that one also. The password is no password, which I have kept it as no password. Database, I am using my database one. So my cursor, my db.cursor, my cursor.execute, create table customers. In the customers, I am trying to create a customers table in my database one, which is having two fields, name and address. So here I just say Python my table so the database in the database the table is being created. Now if you want, now what I'm going to do, I want to check whether the table is existing or not. To check whether the table is existing, I'm going to write a code. Here my username is root. My password is empty. I have created a table in my database one. So I just say my cursor, my db.cursor, my cursor.execute show tables. So all the tables which are being which are there in my database will be shown to you. So when I run my program, so there is a table which is existing, which I have created. That is nothing but customers table is there. So now you can also create primary keys. We can create a table. You should also create a column with a unique key for each record. Then you can, this can be done by defining a primary key where we use a statement called int auto increment primary key, which inserts the unique number. So if you want to create the thing, if you want to create a primary key, we just do it in this manner. Create table customers int id. I am creating it as a primary key, name and address. Now, if you want to insert into the table, if you want to insert the data into the table, how we are going to do it? So here I'm trying to insert the values into my customer table. I am inserting into customers name and address, John and Highway 21. I say my db.commit print cursor.row count row inserted. Any doubts? Any doubts? So if you want to insert multiple rows, you can also do it by insert into customer name, address, values. You enter the names and just say my db.connect commit. You can insert the values. If you want to get the insert one row and return the ID of that row, you can also get it my cursor dot last row ID. If you just say my cursor dot last row ID, you can get the inserted values. You can insert the multiple values into the database. So I have inserted 13 rows into my thing. Thirteen rows have been inserted successfully. So if you want to select the values, we can also select the values from the customer table. So you can create a database, you can create the database, you can run the things in your application. Clear? Any doubts? Any doubts? We'll have a small 5-minute break. We are going to have a small 5-minute break.
Vasu sir.
Sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Hello, Vasu sir.
Sir.
Yeah. Just a minute. Mrutyunjaya sir. Sir, please give co-host permission to Vasu sir, sir. Vasu sir, now you can share, sir.
Sir. Mrutyunjaya sir.
Sir, tell me, sir.
Yeah. Everything okay, right, sir? No
Yeah,
interaction
everything.
with the participants.
Yeah, everything is okay, sir. You can.
Okay. So we will have a break at 12:30, sir. After that, I will show how we can actually do MySQL with the database, sir. Django with MySQL, sir. After the break. Okay. Now, if you want to select the wildcard characters, you can also select the wildcard characters. Like I want to select a word way from my thing. I can also select it. So I want to select all the things which are coming with way. So my cursor dot execute. All the things which are coming with way, I can get it. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a break. If you people have got all the things, until now what we have done is we have created a form and try to register the form with login screen. So I have already shared the documents for the thing, and also we have created MySQL tables, and then how the MySQL table can be interacted with the Python. After the break, we are going to see how MySQL table can interact with your Django web applications. So today's section will be closed after we complete with how MySQL table is interacting with the Django applications. Any doubts? If you have, you can raise me. The session is open for doubts. Mrutyunjaya sir. If you are not having doubts, we can have a break and then continue after the lunch break. Any doubts? Any doubts? Sure, madam. I'll once again show you. First and foremost thing, what you have to do is, we have to first install our MySQL database. To install the MySQL, you can go and install it using this command. First, you need to install MySQL. MySQL can be installed from this particular site. You have to download the MySQL from this site. You have to download the MySQL from this site. You have to download the MySQL from this site. After you have downloaded MySQL, you have to create a MySQL connector. You have to create a MySQL connector in the folder where you are using. So we create a MySQL connector in the folder where we are using. So it will be connected. Then you can start writing. Only the thing what you have to check is whether your MySQL is installed properly and the connector is working. Only one statement is enough. That is, we can just say import MySQL connector. You just say import MySQL connector and you save your file, and you save your file as connect.py. If it does not show any error, that means your MySQL is connected to your Python application. That means it is connected to your Python application. Only 3 steps are needed. First step, you have to install your MySQL. If you are facing difficulty, I have already given the link in the WhatsApp. If you want, you can download from there. First, you have to download MySQL. Second, you have to use this command. Use this command to actually connect your Python with MySQL. And the third one is to check whether it is working. You need to do these 3 things. So this particular MySQL database is already there in the WhatsApp. So if you want, I will again repost it. You can download from this particular link. MySQL can be downloaded from this link. That is, I have kept the XAMPP in this. So you can actually download MySQL from here. Then after you have downloaded the MySQL, we can actually check whether MySQL is connected or not by using a statement Python -m pip install MySQL connector Python. MySQL connector Python is the one which is going to connect your Python and the MySQL database. So to check whether everything is working fine, you just need to say import mysql.connector. Import mysql.connector. Import mysql.connector. Import mysql.connector. Import mysql.connector. Any doubts? Ragini madam. So after the lunch break, we are going to see how we can use MySQL with the Django application. We will see how we can use MySQL with Django application. After the break, we are going to see how we can use MySQL with Django application, so that in tomorrow's session we can create a web application. Any doubts? Any doubts? So the session is, I'm closing the session. Maniam sir? Maniam sir? Sorry, Mrutyunjaya sir? Mrutyunjaya sir? We will have a lunch break and then we'll start the session from 1:30. Okay, thank you very much. We'll have lunch break and we'll start the session from 1:30.
Okay, sir.